Warning: this podcast discusses paranormal activity and other topics some might find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. My name is Ashley, and I am the host of Ghost Gossip. And today I am joined by a special guest, one of my longtime friends, Jessica.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Jessica.
So excited to be here.
I'm so excited you're here.
Yay.
So, why are we here?
We are here because I got to live out a long-time dream of investigating your old house.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Once you were telling me about things that were happening in your house, I was itching to get in there. So very excited to talk about what we found.
Yes, and I was very hesitant to allow you to do it because I was living there and I was like, I don't want to deal with the consequences of this.
Exactly.
But now I am moved out and the house was ready to investigate.
Yes.
Before we get started though, do you believe in the paranormal?
Absolutely, 1000%.
So when did that start?
That started, I'll just give you like a brief little rundown. I actually grew up near a family cemetery in the lower part of South Carolina. So it is a public cemetery, but it is a family cemetery. So I grew up, walking from my house to the cemetery and thought that was super cool. And I would have friends spend the night and we would walk out there. And one time one of my friends got real scared. We had to turn around halfway and go back home. And I was like, man,
Do you know a Denise?
My brother's ex-wife is Denise. So let's hope she's not here. Okay. Look. Laughter. That is funny. But after that, I've always kind of believed, I felt my grandfather's presence. He passed away when I was in 5th grade, but a few years ago, I felt his presence around me and I was like, okay, didn't see him, but I felt him and I knew it was him. But let's just kind of skip forward to, I bought a house in the upstate and things started happening. So my cabinet door started opening on its own. I started hearing knocks and feeling things behind me like they were watching television with me, and got in contact with a group and they came and they let me know, I'm not alone in my house, which was cool. So, fast forward a little bit, and if I can say, the team that investigated my house, they did invite me to be a part of their team. So I have been on an accredited paranormal investigation team in South Carolina since May. So about 6 months. So it's really exciting.
That's really cool.
Yes, ma'am. So yes, I absolutely believe in the paranormal.
If we're 1 to 10 on the believership.
Oh God, 25. Yeah.
Me too.
Yes, ma'am.
Me too. So once I moved out, I was like, hey, girl.
Yeah, girl.
You want to investigate my house?
I said more than anything in this world.
And we scheduled a date.
We did.
And our guys came with us. Mm-hmm. And we investigated Wayne's house.
We did. I was absolutely thrilled. Number one, your house was beautiful. Your house right now is stunning, but just the just beauty of your old house, it's stunning, and you could tell that he put a lot of work in it when he was in there.
He definitely did. Mm-hmm. The details with the woodwork and the marble and all of it. Like he loved that house. Mm-hmm. And I was told by my neighbor, if anything ever happens in the house, it's Wayne.
Yeah.
Because he loved that house and he would not leave that house. And I think it's true. I think he is still there.
It was to me, I was so excited to see you because I hadn't seen you in forever, and so excited to see Daniel and go in there. But it actually kind of felt like I was meeting Wayne. I had heard so much about Wayne, and it just felt like I was going and I was actually going to be able to meet him.
He is his personality. The house has a personality, and it is Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why it is still to this day called Wayne's house.
Love it.
What I love about my house is it feels like it's our house. Mm-hmm. Whereas that house never felt like ours.
Yeah.
So we started the investigation in the kitchen.
We did.
Because that is where he passed away. Mm-hmm. Let's start here. What were your initial thoughts of the house when you first walked in? Like feeling of energy and things?
It felt like it was his house. I mean, when I walked in, everything that you had said and, experiences that you had, I walked in and I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. It did feel like it was his house. It did feel like he still had a lot of pride in it. We went into the kitchen initially and I was standing there and the kitchen felt kind of heavy. Ashley did say that is where he passed. So I did I think I put a K2 on the floor.
Yes.
Okay. So a K2 meter, for everyone listening, is just a portable EMF meter. And an EMF meter reads electromagnetic fields and the changes in the frequency. So immediately in the kitchen, I knew something traumatic had happened in there. So I put the K2 meter on the floor just to see if it would blip initially, just to see if we had any changes in frequency in there, to see if he was in there with us hanging out. We asked some questions. I had my phone recording to see if we got any answers. But yeah, that's how we started.
And yeah, and it changed a little in the kitchen, but we were next to the oven.
We were. And I just do want to let listeners know that if you ever use any devices like that, just be sure they're not around electronics. And if they are, just be sure to debunk that. Electronics will raise some frequencies on some of these devices. So what I'm doing is put my phone on airplane mode, and that's a good thing to do if you're a paranormal investigator. So your phone, if you are trying to record something while you're investigating, put your phone on airplane mode so it will not trip the frequencies of your paranormal investigative devices. So yeah, that was the kitchen.
That's a good tip, because most people don't know if you're going to use your phone to investigate.
Yeah.
It can impact it.
It's good to be on airplane mode.
So after we left the kitchen, we just wandered the bottom floor, looked, but not really. We didn't do anything right then. We went upstairs and then we started.
We started because I had requested with Ashley and Daniel, could we start upstairs and then come back down? I am pretty sure we did start in his room.
Okay.
And then we went to the gun room.
Okay. And then his bedroom.
And then
it was
his bedroom and then the gun room.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay. So we went upstairs, and Wayne's room, while we were living there, I told Wayne he could have his own room in an olive branch to make things a little bit easier to live with. And so I gave him his own room, gave him his own space. And that's where I think he stayed. And that's where the majority of the energy in the house is to this day.
Absolutely.
Because I was just over there.
Absolutely.
So he does not like me in his room.
Well,
I don't think he liked any of us.
So we were in there, and I know that you talked about this on your previous episode. We were in there, and it was nothing short of intense. So in there, did we use the REM pod in there? Or just
we did.
We did. Okay.
We had one major hit.
Okay. So in addition to the K2 meter we used upstairs, we used dowsing rods, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But we also used a REM pod. And what a REM pod is a device that radiates electromagneticity. And what that means is it just detects energy disturbances just like a K2. We put it in the middle of the floor, and if anything goes by it, it does have a series of multicolored lights and alarms that will flash and just indicate, something is here with us. In that room, it was very, very, very heavy. It was heavy. We just asked questions. I was talking to Wayne. I was like, do you love living here? Just basic questions like that. And we were just having conversations. So Ashley, can you talk a little bit more about like how you reacted? Because Ashley had a very strong reaction.
Yes. After we were in there for a few minutes and the REM pod hit, and it was like this huge spike, and then the battery died. And so we went to find a battery to replace it. It only spiked once. And I instantly started getting a very heavy feeling in my head. It's my ears specifically. And I could feel the energy shift. And it was just like my ears just kept wah, wah. And I eventually had to sit down on the floor because I felt like my head was spinning. Wayne reacts to me in a very negative way when I'm in his room. And then so I come in his room and then I bring people into his room.
Absolutely. People he doesn't know. And we're like asking him all these questions.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And he let us know he was around, and he answered questions.
He did.
In my mind through my ears.
Okay.
Which that sounds
insane.
No.
No, it's just you're an empath. So for sure.
That's usually, it seems to be my ears indicate more than anything else. It's like,
it's pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, or it's ringing, which I've had ringing in my left ear at one point and then ringing in my right. It's also probably could be medical. I might need to get that fixed or checked. But yes, you would ask these questions about if he was here or if he was angry or sad. And the stronger my ear pulsed, it was like almost confirmation. To me, I took it as confirmation. And then if you asked a question that he did not answer,
Yeah.
nothing would happen.
Yeah. And I have to give it to Ashley, y'all. We all know she's incredible. We were saying, Ashley, you can sit out in the hallway. I know we're doing this investigation in here, and I know that's affecting you so bad, but y'all, Ashley is a freaking trooper. Ashley sat in there and experienced the whole entire thing. So you want to talk about the dowsing rods just a little bit?
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, and y'all may laugh at this, so we were using dowsing rods to ask questions, and you can believe in dowsing rods or not. I mean, people are on the fence about them. You hold them in your hands steady, they answer questions. You say, closed is no and open is yes, and you ask the questions and they move accordingly. What's really funny is the dowsing rods kept pointing to Daniel.
And I always have said, I think Wayne liked Daniel.
And I was like, Daniel is his favorite. So we would ask questions to the rods, and they would just point to Daniel. So did we give Daniel the rods?
We did.
Okay.
I can't remember. Was it in that room? It was in that room.
It was in that room.
Yes. We did. And
we did.
I think he did, considering it was our first time, I think he did pretty good. I can't remember what we asked.
I can't either, but I know that if you do believe in the power of dowsing rods, it seemed to me like Wayne just loves Daniel, and he just kept pointing to Daniel. So
it's so funny because if you listen to previous episodes, I have said he likes Daniel.
He likes Daniel.
I've always said that. That's so wild.
Daniel's a big burly dude. I mean, come on now.
Yes, he is. He's a big man. He's handsome. He's handsome. And Wayne did not like women.
No.
Nope. Well, your boyfriend, he was with us.
He was.
And he felt that room too. And he didn't like it. And then, did we get any EVPs in that room? I think we might have, but I can't remember what it was.
We might. I know that we got a few down in the basement.
Yes.
But
we got the most obvious in the basement.
In the basement. I'm not sure. I don't remember if we got any that were noteworthy in the room. I know that the REM pod, all the energy was gone. It drained. We got hits on the K2, and we got answers on the dowsing rod. So.
And my ears. My ears.
And Ashley's ears.
My ears. That's a painful way for them to communicate.
I'm so
I don't
sorry.
like that one.
I know.
Why can't they access my brain and just talk to me? Instead of just
maybe just put them in their place, give them some boundaries.
Get out of my head.
Get out of your head. Yes.
I'm going to be committed.
Yes.
That's so funny. So we're sitting here and I'm getting lightheaded. So it's like.
Oh, no, right now. Okay.
But I'm okay.
We're going to move into another room.
Yes. Do you know when I know I talked about it in my episodes a year ago, when I did that interview with that other podcast, I started feeling funny talking about the house to another person. Ugh, knock it off.
It's inside. It's inside your brain at this point. It's in your brain chemistry. So.
So after we left Wayne's room, we went to his room. We went to
the gun room.
Did we go to the gun room and then his room? I don't think it matters. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened in the gun room.
Nope.
It just felt kind of strange because there were no windows.
Right.
And the door had a lock on the outside.
Yes, that's right.
So I was like, Ashley. I said, Ashley, why does this door have a lock on the outside?
I think they started to believe that the house was possibly a not good house.
Oh, yeah. So, that was my only concern about the quote-unquote gun room. It just didn't have any windows. It just kind of felt claustrophobic.
It used to be an attic.
Okay.
He turned it into another room because it used to be an attic. That's why
sloping.
It
has the sloping ceiling. So.
Yep. It's something he closed in.
Okay.
And my right ear started ringing. So, he closed that in. And, my right ear is like a happy highness.
Yeah.
My left ear is the one that they'll both womp, but that one's the one that there's pain in my eardrum.
Goodness.
Yeah. So after I said that, my right ear went. When they start messing with my ears,
you're good. I understand.
Daniel can see it too. We'll be just talking and then something will happen and he's learned that it's so both my ears are ringing right now.
You want to go downstairs and start talking about the office, or do you want to stay upstairs? Okay.
Yes.
Because the office was very happy. Wonderful. We had really wonderful experiences in the office.
Such good experiences in the office.
So tell us about the office.
The office was my favorite place in the whole house. After the shadow moved, I had taken my stuff out of the basement and moved it up into that room. So I decided just to make that my office so that way I'd be out of the basement because, sometimes the basement felt funny.
Yeah.
So that became such a happy place, and I always wondered if his sister stayed there when she came because she's such a loving and happy person, and that's how the room felt.
Yeah.
But it also seemed like the place that my grandmother was, and she was very active with the REM pod.
She absolutely was. So If you don't follow Ashley on TikTok, get on there, because the days leading up to Halloween, she had so many stories, and she had stories about this office, y'all. Okay, so go, because the lights, while she lived there, the lights came on and off and on and off and on and off. So if you follow Ghost Gossip Pod, okay, follow Ghost Gossip Pod on TikTok, you can actually see what the office looked like. Okay, because Ashley had it painted navy blue. I mean, it's beautiful. So if you want a visual of what this office looked like, please go follow her on TikTok. But yeah, we can start talking about the office if you want to.
The office always was a special place for me. And that's, I mean, we would all kind of congregate in there because all of us love the feeling of that room. The more I was in that room, the more I had light activity. Yeah. And the light would come on and off, on and off, on and off. So we investigated that room. And my grandmother, Miss Bet, you know, we asked, I had the dowsing rods at this point, and I am not a dowsing rod master. So I'm sure my body position maybe it affected it, but pretty much both my grandparents are with me, and they leave me dimes. They confirm that they are the ones that put dimes in my way.
And just talking about this, I just want to cry, because we got such an overwhelming feeling of happiness and just like love in that room, y'all, for real. So I had the dowsing rods, but I asked Ashley, I said, do you want to hold them? Because we were asking questions of Bet, her grandmother, and her grandfather, and they were answering with me. I said, Ashley, do you want to hold them and ask? And she's like, yeah. So that was a really special moment. Like we said earlier, we did have to put batteries back in the REM pod because it was drained upstairs. So we put batteries in it. We brought it and put it in the middle of the floor in the office, and it went off, you guys. And we would say, I mean, it was just and we would say, hey, we had to ask Bet to move
away from it.
We had to ask Bet,
will you please move?
I just got chills. We just had to ask Bet, can you please move away so we can ask you some more questions? Because literally, y'all, she was standing on top of the REM pod. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was just like alarming and everything like that. So we were like, Miss Bet, can you please just move over so we can ask you questions, whatever? And y'all, it stopped. So Bet was in there, and one of the wonderful things that happened when Ashley was holding the dowsing rods is she asked Bet a question, or one of us did. It's probably Ashley, and it hugged her. Do you remember when the dowsing rods opened completely and went back to Ashley's shoulders? Yep. So we were like, it was incredible.
That room just, it made up for the upstairs room. Yes, it was just such a wonderful feeling room. And then we went into my master bedroom, where we believe Daniel's grandmother, and baseball, I think, used a baseball trigger object.
Yes. So in preparation to when I was going to come and see Ashley's house and meet Wayne and everybody over there, I did ask Ashley, I said, is there any way, I think this was the day before, I said, is there any way that we can get Daniel to bring a baseball? Because I know that Daniel and his grandmother shared that interest, and there was kind of a thought that maybe Freddie was visiting, and maybe Freddie kind of communicated in a closet in your master bedroom.
Yep, the closet light.
So I said, is there any way that Daniel can please bring a baseball so we can see? But we went in there, and I remember you were like you laid on the floor to see if you could feel anything in the room. We put the baseball in the closet, and we didn't get any activity.
Nope, we didn't get anything.
So what we talked about, and what I told Daniel, and this is actually on the recording, I don't know if I sent it to you. What I told Daniel, I said, don't worry. I said, she's probably with you at your new house. Like, because I didn't want Daniel to be upset that nothing happened. And it's like, oh, is she not here? You know, was that not her? I mean, y'all, these things travel, okay? Unless they love where they are. But if
they can go anywhere.
They can go anywhere, and she's probably with y'all here, because she's not going to stay at a house where she don't know nobody.
Yeah, she didn't live there.
Yeah, so she's going to probably, I said, Daniel, don't worry, we didn't get any evidence of Miss Freddie being here, but probably with you now.
Oh, so, yeah. Yes, and I do believe, and I also believe they're not as active here because it is everybody's happy, and the energy is so much different than it was over at my other house. And I love my other house. Yeah. I love it, and I miss it, and I miss hanging out with Wayne, and I know that sounds crazy, but you get used to them.
You do.
They become part of the family. And now, like, I know I think he's been here once or twice because this is his desk. Okay. So I did ask him before I left that house if I could have it, and then I just took it. I don't know if he told me I could. But I love it. It's part of him here.
I love it. I love that.
I also, the monster plant in the front of the house, the babies off those plants are called pups. And so I dug up a couple pups and brought them here. So,
I love that.
And Wayne planted those. So
see, here's the thing. I mean, that is, I mean, that was a really kind of turning point for your paranormal journey. Like, you haven't had, like, you know, somebody living in your house with you and just, you know, communicating with you every single day. So, I mean,
whether I wanted to or not.
Exactly. To commemorate that's a beautiful thing, I think. And I think that he wants you to remember him. I think now, and I'm not a medium at all, but I think now he just doesn't want you to forget him.
I don't think I will ever.
I don't think he wants you to, and I think he's happy you have his desk and his and the plants, even though he'll probably be like, you stole my shit.
Woman, you stole my shit. You stole my desk.
He'd probably say that to you, but he's happy that you remember him.
Yes. And I told Daniel that too, you know, before. He's never lived with, you know, he didn't have kids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden his house was full of kids and a mom and a dad. And that was probably the only time he's ever really experienced that kind of family life.
Yeah.
And I told Daniel, you know, he didn't have children, and the people that will remember him aren't as many as some.
Yeah.
And we are a way for him to be remembered.
Like we were talking about before we started recording, people don't want to be forgotten.
No.
They want validation that they still exist, I believe.
Is it Macklemore that says you actually die twice when they put you in the ground and then when the last person forgets about you or whatever?
The last person said your name.
Yes.
Same thing. Exactly. And I love those lyrics, and it just kind of makes me think, you know, I'm a total graveyard and cemetery hound.
She is my black cat friend.
For lack of a better term, I just, you know, I love research and I love historic graveyards, cemeteries, things like that. And what I find that is fascinating but breaks my heart in 1,000 pieces are the stones that you cannot read them anymore.
Oh.
So there's no way, you know, that I can know what their name was. I can acknowledge that they're there and they existed, but it reminds me of those lyrics too. It's like, I can't even read their name anymore.
It's not even there if somebody was trying to know who they were.
Yeah. It's very humbling.
It's very humbling
because it's like you can spend thousands of dollars on a stone, but it's probably going to wither away. But
over time.
So what matters is the memories, the experiences, and just acknowledging, you know, somebody once existed.
That's deep.
I know.
Me too. Oh, yeah. We got Scorpios in the house.
Scorpios in the house, ladies.
Yeah, her birthday was this weekend, and my birthday's this week.
Let me tell you. Can I tell you just a really funny part
absolutely.
about? So I just wanted to say, and I hope you have kind of the same experience. My birthday this past weekend was so Jessica coded. It's insane. So my boyfriend took me to Nick and Norman's downtown Greenville for my birthday dinner Friday night. And to know me is to know that I have been obsessed with The Walking Dead. Like when it came out, obsessed with that show. So that dinner was really Jessica coded. So yesterday I was able to do a paranormal investigation last night. So that was cool on my actual birthday. And then today I get to record and talk about ghosties with my Scorpio friends.
Yes.
So it's been an incredible birthday weekend.
I am so
full of my favorite things.
So happy I could be a part of it.
Yeah, girly.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
We have to talk about the basement.
Yes,
okay,
the basement. We'll just ADHD, squirrel,
Sorry.
all over the place. But we went to the basement.
Yeah.
Basement was weird for all of us. It was weird.
It was. The basement, y'all, it was super cool because it was finished. It was a finished basement. Beautiful, clean, immaculate. And I know Ashley did that, you know, to put the house on the market, get it spotless and everything like that. Cool space. Felt kind of strange. Is the mirror room in the basement? You've talked about the mirrors before.
The 32 mirrors that were covering the walls of the house. So there are 2 storage rooms in the basement, and one was a Christmas room, and it had all the mirrors that were left in the house in that room. And then the room next to it was my studio that we went into and investigated and sat on the floor. And we got EVPs in that room.
We got EVPs in that room.
What was the one that stood out the most to you?
Girl, probably the name of this episode.
We are sitting there and something in that house tells us to...
You want to say it together?
Yep. Move it, hag. They called us a hag.
It said, move it, hag.
It literally said, move it, hag.
We literally lost our minds laughing. Y'all, it said, move it, hag.
Yes.
So, move it, hag. Yep. So
we
Ashley
laughed.
Yes. Ashley and I are currently wearing bracelets that I had made for us because y'all, you don't ever forget that. To commemorate the event, we are wearing bracelets that say move it, hag. They're friendship bracelets.
Yep.
Ashley also made us t-shirts that say move it, hag.
And the date.
And the date.
Yes. He told us to move.
Y'all, he told us to move it, hag. Well, there's more than one hag here. You could have at least made it plural.
Grammar.
Hags. I know, right?
Well, what's funny is when I told one of my friends from high school about my house, she said, you have a hag. Ashley, you have a hag.
We are the hags.
Yeah. Go figure.
Like, honey, I am the hag.
I am the hag. I am the hag in this house.
Y'all, that was funny. That was the most noteworthy thing that probably had happened. Y'all, it was so funny.
It was so funny. But we also got an EVP recording that said, "Can you help me?"
Yep.
Remember that one?
We did.
And it was like, we listened to that over and over because some of the other ones were really hard to hear.
They were really hard to hear.
But that one was like, "Can you help me?" When we're done, I need to tell you some of the things I got through my Spirit Talker app.
Cool. That'll be great. Just let it know that Wayne was loved.
He was loved, and yes, he was a loved man, and
yeah, he was loved by someone in the
that's
basement.
what we found out.
Yeah, we did.
It still favored Daniel because he did the rods in there, and they're very responsive to Daniel. They like Daniel.
They did like Daniel, but it was just very interesting to kind of learn more of history. It's remarkable. That's why we do this, y'all. Like, believe it or not, you can find out a lot about, history of a place or history of people that lived in the place. Just asking questions, guys. Like,
and it makes the things that happened in that house make more sense now. Like after we did that, it's like, well, that would make sense.
Oh yeah.
But that was about it. Like, the most intense energy was in his room, and then after that, the office, and then the basement. It would have such a different feeling from each room.
From each place, y'all, it was just so different. Like upstairs, it was like, I don't feel welcome in the room. It's his space. But then in the office, move it. Basement was like, get out of here, hag. Move it, hag. But like we said, the office, Bet just wanted to like love all over us. So
it was awesome. And it's still, when I go to clean up and get ready, just because it's for sale. So when I go over there, I'll clean up, and every room still has that same energy. You have that heaviness, and then you have the happy, and then you have the, I don't want you here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been telling me to get out lately.
Yeah. So. He's probably kind of butthurt that you left.
I think
he's like, just go.
Just go.
Because you're not going to stay. You just go.
You've already left.
Yeah.
Get out. Yep. He has told me to get out several times.
Yeah. I think he's going to stay there forever.
Oh, yes. He will always be there.
That's his house.
And I've told him, please stop blocking any sales of it. And please let the house sell.
I didn't think about that. Okay, yeah.
He needs to knock it off.
Because you bought it from his sister.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep. I did.
That's special. That is
really special.
Really special.
It is. That house has its own personality. It is a personality of its own.
It's going to take, somebody might come in and he might think that person's okay.
Well, they might not even sense him. He might do things and they are just so oblivious to it that there's like,
Another bodybuilder might want to buy it. And he's like, okay.
Sold. Where do I sign the papers?
ASAP.
Move that guy in.
Yeah.
Overall, what are your thoughts? I think you already said it, but just in case.
You're fine on
the house. In general. You think it's haunted?
I know it's haunted. And y'all, I don't want you to think that haunted means negative or bad. Haunted just means there's something there, that you might not be able to see. And not everything is a demon. Not everything is bad. Speaking from experience, I'll just say this. I do live in a haunted house in the upstate, and my spirits there are wonderful. They're, it's a mother and a child and possibly another child. And I have confirmation on all of that. And these people, this was their life. And to ask them to go away forever from what they knew is, I think it's heartbreaking. So just don't think everything is bad.
Yep.
Don't think everything is a demon, because it's not, y'all. We're going to be in that same state one day. You know, whether you believe it or not, it all happens to us. So just have a little compassion for these folks. If you sense anything in your house or in your friend's house or anything like that, just have a little compassion, because, they just want to be acknowledged. They had a family, they had a life. So definitely Wayne's house, one of my bucket list places to investigate. So thank you, Ashley, so much.
Thank you.
I loved it. I loved the experience there, but definitely haunted.
Yay.
Yeah.
See, I feel that way too. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Gosh, absolutely.
This was a blast.
It was so fun.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy early birthday to you, girl.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to be 40.
I'm so excited. I'm 42. It only gets better. Trust me.
I love it.
It only gets better. I promise.
I want to say thank you for listening. I appreciate you checking out our episode. And until next time, they'll see you later.